The first day of the month for me means that I am packing up all of my sticker and print club envelopes. I spent the entire first day of July going ham, cutting everything that I was behind on, and then packing everything up and subsequently dropping it off. I was like in shock at how fast I was able to move, but with this, it officially meant that I was fully caught up on work after moving, which took me a whole month, but I am now caught up and I can do more fun, creative stuff.
So, will you do the sex? I'm gonna do the sex. Oh God, don't say that. Touch it. That's intimacy.
I'm going to show you guys a little bit of my process on how I add on like extra elements to not only my YouTube videos but also my reels slash TikToks. I'm making my reel about my tomato sticker sheet right now and it feels a little bit boring honestly, so I am going to make a little tomato border and it's super easy on Procreate. You want to make your canvas 9 by 16 inches and then I'm going to turn on animation assist. So this is kind of the idea that I ended up with, and to give it that like jittery effect, all you do is literally open up another layer on top of it and then just roughly trace over it. If you like things to be a little bit cleaner, you can take a little bit more time to trace over it, but I like my stuff a little bit rough around the edges, so I am just very quickly tracing over things. And then once you have all your layers, you can press play and it'll start showing you what it looks like. You can get pretty fast with it or like super slow with it. For me it depends, but I think I'm pretty comfortable between like the 6 and 10 range. And then I turn off my background layer and then just export it as an animated PNG and that's it. Very tiny package, but very excited. This is a really small package, it's so funny. I have the paper-like screen protector on my iPad because, in my opinion, it feels more like paper. I think those screen protectors are kind of controversial because some people really don't like them, and then some people also really complain about it wearing down their Apple Pencil nibs, which I've never had that problem. I don't know why. I love mine and I love anything that is gonna make my iPad feel more like paper because, I mean, I love traditionally drawing, but digital drawing is just like the best. So they just came out with these like pencil-like tips, I guess. This is what they look like. And I'm gonna try it out. I'm really excited. I have this guy that holds all of my Apple Pencil nibs. It doesn't really feel very different, like whenever I touch it with my finger. But I'm gonna switch out the nib and I guess then we'll see how it feels, because yeah, when I touch it, it doesn't really feel all that different. But I guess we'll see. Two of the stickers on my iPad were getting very old. And whenever I put stickers like on the creases, they get worn down faster. So I'm just gonna Something that's been like brewing in my little brain over the last month or so is my brand new ADHD diagnosis. But for the people in my life, I don't think that it's new. I have grown up with my peers constantly tell me that they think that I have ADHD, and the people closest to me were constantly telling me, especially recently. But I never identified with like classic ADHD symptoms, or at least I didn't feel like I did, but my mental health journey has definitely been a long one, to say the least. I had been out of therapy after treating some OCD-esque sort of anxiety, and I was doing amazing. Like, I mean, I am doing amazing. Anxiety for me now is almost non-existent, or at least it's very manageable. But I started therapy again a couple months ago because I was like, I am dealing with like some, I didn't know if it was like personality flaws or just some stuff that I felt like I was making myself and my life harder for some reason, because I don't want to do that, but it was just like, I think mental habits that could have been attributing to that. So I started therapy up again, and I love my new therapist. She is like in her 30s, and she shared to me that she had been diagnosed with ADHD until she turned 30, and she felt like I had it. We did the assessment, and I mean, turns out I do. And I think for me, I denied that sort of label for a long time because I don't know why, but I kind of felt like I already have OCD. Like, I already found, quote, what's wrong with me, and I've already, quote, fixed it. So I didn't really want to deal with other stuff that I felt like made me, quote, different. But I have just, it's in a way I've been going through like this weird grieving process of like initial shock of diagnosis, and then like playing things and scenes of my life and being like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And now just kind of being like, well, I've come this far and I've learned to manage it pretty well. I am able to be, fairly productive. I'm able to function to the best of my abilities. There's definitely days that I can't. And the day here when I was sketching in my sketchbook, I just could not get myself to produce anything. I have been carving out a lot of creative time because, as I've reiterated several times, I am prepping for my biggest market of the year and then also prepping for a shop update. So during this prep time before my products get here, before I get into like website design, it's a lot of drawing, it's a lot of creating, it's a lot of brainstorming, and it's easy for me to get flustered and caught up in feeling like I don't know what I want to make, or I can't get myself to draw, or I just waste 2 hours drawing on my iPad and am not able to produce anything. So I decided whenever this happens, I just need to sketch. And I was right. I literally sketched like 2 pages and I already felt a little bit better. It kind of helps get like the gears going in the creative part of my brain. So yeah, that's just like stuff that I've been processing lately, and also like seeing come up and pop up in my day to day. My mornings are personally my kind of most sacred creative time, and I feel like that's why you don't see a lot of me in the morning, or at least I don't film a ton in the morning, because the first, especially like 3 hours of the day, I feel the most refreshed and the most creatively motivated. So I try to block out those morning hours for creating, for drawing, all of the stuff that I really love to do, but can also become a little bit more difficult as the day goes on, as I start getting more brain fog and tasks start sort of building up. Drawing and stuff gets a lot harder, so I like to have nice, long, creative mornings when I can, because, sometimes I have a lot of other more businessy administrative tasks. I found a little collab that monchhichi had done with, I don't even know what the company was. but it was a Japanese company, and I know in Japan they really love wrestling culture, and I had found this collab that they did. I don't know when it was released or anything, but they just had like a few items. I've been wanting to do like a sort of quote Mexican monchhichi for so long, and I drew up the riso print on my iPad basically all morning. I also kind of spent most of the morning trying to do product design, but I just like have been failing. I don't know why, like I'm just not vibing with product design right now. You know, usually I like to do that before I start making handmade goods, because that way while I'm making my handmade stuff, the products can be getting produced and shipped out to me, but it's just not flowing for me right now. So maybe I'll end up doing a mostly handmade shop update and bringing mostly handmade stuff to Sprinkle Trinkle. We'll see. I think it's like a sign to stop pushing and just like do handmade stuff here, because that's just what I've been wanting to do. So I finished up the riso file. It always looks crazy on my iPad because I do a lot of color mixing, but once I print it out, it should be looking good, exactly how I want. So yeah, I wanted to do like my version of like a little luchador monchhichi, similar to like what I saw. I'm not gonna lie, I need a break from drawing and like looking down, so I think I'm gonna laminate some sticker sheets that I printed out this morning as well, and I drew those over the weekend. I kind of like wanted my tomato sticker sheet that I made last week to have a bit of a sibling. So I made this last week. I made a reel about it as well. You guys saw me make the little animation for it, and I really love the background picture. So I just wanted to do another version of this, but with kewpies. So yeah. In my riso video, I talk about how I don't use my riso connected to my computer, but my partner actually managed to connect it like last week, which was super awesome. So I've been playing around with that, like printing directly from the computer. It comes out like a little bit more printer-esque and a little bit less riso-esque, at least in my opinion, but the alignment is better. So there's like a little bit of a trade-off, but I'm gonna try to print the monchhichi ones. So I am getting a little bit of smudging, a little bit of roller marks. And this basically happens because the part of the riso that grips the paper, it has like, it's like a little tire essentially, and if the ink is too wet, it'll like drag the colors down. But the colors are looking super good. I've been trying to push myself to use more saturated colors. I've always been scared too with my riso because I'm just scared of paper jams and stuff. But these are looking super vibrant, super cute, and I'm just gonna let them dry for a bit and then I'll do the black. Okay, I'm getting a package. Someone rang the doorbell. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what this is. They are this month's Patreon rewards. Sorry, Patreon prints. I wanted to do something a little bit sketchy just because whenever I was drawing up the rewards, I was very much in like a sketchy line art mood. So I made this, and that is the print. for this month on Patreon. I am editing right now. This video that you're watching right now, I'm editing it. And my editing process is also, I feel like very ADHD in the sense that like I have to do a little bit every day. I can't just like leave everything for the end of the week because I will literally never do it. And I get super overwhelmed when tasks are, I don't know how to explain it. Tasks are better for me if I start digesting them little by little. Even if most of the workload is left to the end, that's fine. It's just like, it has to be, I have to at least like look at it before I need to get it done, because then I will start the avoidancy of like tackling the task. But I'm editing this video right now. As I mentioned earlier, I've just been like processing this sort of ADHD diagnosis, new ADHD lens, I suppose, of viewing myself and my life. And I see it so much in my content, and it kind of sucks because I am so bad at remembering to film things. And I'm also like, I have my like locked in strategy pretty spot on. Like I know how to lock in and like push through and get things made and done, but it can kind of get interrupted by like remembering to film and also talking. Well, like I'm literally struggling to talk to you guys and also edit this video. I'm so bad at talking and doing, or just like, yeah, just doing both of those things at once I am not good at. So yeah, just kind of noticing that. And sometimes I wonder like if maybe that has sort of put people off of my videos, because I mean, definitely I think the like studio vlog era, I mean, it had like its peak era where like everyone was watching studio vlogs, but now I feel like maybe they've gotten old. I don't know, or maybe you guys like them. I'm trying to talk more because I feel like that's what makes them more interesting. Whenever I watch vlogs, I feel more interested when people are just like chatting it up. I don't even care what they're talking about. They're just blabbing. And I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that for you guys, but I feel like, again, I need to like center myself a bit to do that because I'm so bad at talking and also doing things.
So some of us will reach that left arm up, some may wrap it behind the back to the sacrum, maybe even grab the upper right thigh. So we're going to come into a standing spot. Practice. And if you're not quite hand to heel, no problem. And use the belt to help bridge the distance. Either way, draw the block is a tool for advancement.
I am finally back to give you guys a small review on the Apple Pencil nib I was talking about that I unboxed earlier in the video. I've been using it over the last few days, and right now I'm working on a digital piece. So when I first tried it out, I didn't really feel that much of a difference. It just felt like it had a little bit more resistance when drawing on my iPad in comparison to the original Apple Pencil nib. But as I've started using it, I feel like I really do feel a difference. Like that resistance actually does help with especially the sketching process. Like I think my lines here and just like the feel of pencilness, because this is supposed to mimic like graphite, is really nice. That being said, I don't know that I'll buy another pack. Like honestly, I think this is just a nice perk. And if you're someone that, for example, doesn't like the paper-like screen protectors because you feel like it shaves down your pencil nibs, which I've never had that happen, but I know that that's a common complaint, maybe the pencil nibs instead of the screen protector is a good option, because then you can still get that nice like rough feel in a different way that maybe functions better for you in the way that you draw. But so far I'm enjoying myself. Is it anything super revolutionary? For me personally, no, but not bad. Yeah, I mean. Hey. Before closing out today's video, I wanted to quickly mention our sponsor, which is of course Squarespace. If you do not know who Squarespace is, they're an online platform where you can create your very own website, and they are the platform that I have always used to run my website, my online art business, and my portfolio. They also happen to be a very long time supporter of this channel, and they have some tools that really help me out with all of my web stuff. Like the commerce tool helps me keep track of my inventory, all of my customer data, order numbers, all of that not so fun stuff. And with Squarespace payments, I can take direct payments from consumer and then get it directly deposited to me. I don't have to use any sort of third-party extensions if I don't want to. If you are interested in Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and you can use my code for 10% off your first purchase.